evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. One thing we've learned about mass immigration over the past couple of years is that all good people support it. Immigration is the ultimate moral litmus test. When a caravan of poor migrants from the third world shows up uninvited on your doorstep, the decent among us step forward to welcome them in. That's commanded by the moral code of cable news, and more importantly by the poem at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty. Only bigots and haters slam the door. That's what they've been telling us in the media now for years. CNN's Jim Acosta has made that point repeatedly. Well, it has finally happened. The caravan has arrived. But here's the funny part. It didn't arrive in our country. It arrived in Mexico, in the border city of Tijuana, just across the fence from San Diego. The people of Tijuana are Mexican citizens, so by definition, they are good people, much better than you are. They're more welcoming and compassionate, less selfish and less American. They must be thrilled by the new arrivals. As immigrants, their new Honduran neighbors will grow their economy and add rich new diversity to their culture. That's what low-skilled immigrants always do. Again, a point that Jim Acosta frequently makes. So are the people of Tijuana grateful for this caravan from Honduras? Fox's William Lajeunesse went there to find out firsthand. Here's what he discovered.
Should this caravan have been stopped at the Guatemala border?
Of course, I agree with that 100%. It should have.
The country have to be beware of these people because they are people, they are bad people.
Because they don't belong here, they're just migrants, but it's like the same, in the same case, it's like when Mexican migrants going to the U.S., they're undocumented.
You know of incidences here in Tijuana and in other cities that some of these people that are coming into with these caravans are committing crimes. This is not about racism. We don't dislike a certain group of people because they're from a country, one country or another. We are here because our government has not taken control of these, what we call invasion.
Whoa, wait a second. That's not the script we expected at all. The migrants are disruptive? They, quote, don't belong here? Some of them are criminals? It sounds like what they're saying in Tijuana is, when Honduras sends its people, it's not sending their best. And that's a racist statement, obviously. We know that because Donald Trump said something like that about Mexico once, and the geniuses on cable news never forgot it. They're still talking about that line years later as evidence of Trump's white supremacy. And yet here you have non-white people in Mexico saying pretty much exactly the same thing. How can that be? Let's check back with Tijuana to make sure we heard that right.
Donald Trump tenía la razón. Es una invasión. Lo que dijo Donald Trump es verdad. Es una invasión.
Donald Trump was right? Wait, how can someone in Mexico say that? Everybody in Mexico hates Trump. He believes in borders. Nobody in Mexico believes in borders. They're better than that. Well, maybe that was just a lone extremist talking, some crazy person who found a microphone and a TV camera. We better check with the elected mayor of Tijuana. If anyone can speak for the people of that city, he can. Here's what the mayor had to say about the migrant caravan.
Ninguna ciudad en el mundo está preparada para recibir esta, si se me permite, esta avalancha, ¿no? Este tsunami.
An avalanche? A tsunami? Note the dehumanizing terms he uses. If this were a liberal arts college in America, the mayor might be suspended for saying that. He'd definitely be in some kind of diversity re-education class by now. If he worked at Google, he'd be fired instantly. But he's not a student or a tech drone. He's the mayor of Tijuana, where people can still say what they think without fear of being denounced by Don Lemon on CNN as a white supremacist. So they do say what they think. And in Tijuana, what they think is that a massive and abrupt demographic change is destabilizing to a society, no matter what the color of the people involved might be. It's particularly destabilizing if you're not rich, and most people in Tijuana are not rich. Even in Mexico, they're wary of ignoring the law completely and treating borders like they don't exist. They know that doesn't end well. Most people know that doesn't end well. The difference is, in Mexico, they can say that out loud. We could learn from that. Well, the migrant caravan is fake. You've been watching CNN, so you know that. Look at this graphic, quote, invasion, unquote, then the word myth on the screen. It's a myth! A pernicious one, too. Is it actually a myth? Well, filmmaker Ami Horowitz decided to find out himself. He went to Mexico looking for this fake caravan. He found a real caravan, and he filmed it. Here's part of what he found.
Despite the framing of the caravan as being full of women and children, the reality on the ground is quite different. Approximately 90 to 95% of the migrants were male. The major narrative being pushed by the press has been that the migrants are leaving Honduras because they are escaping extreme violence and that their lives are under constant threat, setting up the strategy that they would be able to enter the U.S. by asking for asylum. So I started by asking them a simple question. Why are you coming to America?
Bueno, voy buscando una mejor vida económica.
Vine a trabajar aquí a Estados Unidos. A ver si podemos trabajar allá porque en Honduras no hay trabajo.
There's a massive logistical effort underway, akin to moving an army, and is clearly costing someone millions of dollars for the transportation, food, water, medicine, and services that are being provided for the members of the caravan. The Mexican government also seems to be sending police to escort the dozens of buses and trucks that are ferrying the migrants and supplies along the route to the next destination. Ever present among the thousands of migrants are workers of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, clad in black t-shirts and colored vests. Pueblos Sin Fronteras means people without borders. They're the ones that seem to be most involved in organizing and mobilizing this caravan. The organization, as the name implies, is looking to create a world without borders, which seems to be one of the reasons why they organized this caravan in the first place, to flout American sovereignty. While it does seem as the majority of these migrants are friendly and simply trying to make a better life for themselves and their families, there's an undeniable element of the migrants who are violent and dangerous. And many of the migrants know this, and some have experienced it.
En el viaje hemos recibido agresiones verbales, físicas.
It seems to me that there are leftist organizations that are using these migrants as a tool to push a certain political agenda, which includes the weakening of American sovereignty and our border security. And unfortunately, these migrants are going to be caught in the crossfire.
I thank you. God bless you, and may He continue to bless the nation that has showered this land with love for more than 2 centuries. Thank you all. God bless you all.